Hello, you are watching a video in my series Storytime with Elise, and today I will be talking about the end journey of how I got to Machu Picchu, which is in the mountains of Peru. It's a super famous site. People travel there from all over the world. And yeah, I went in I think 2008, so quite a while ago, and there's a whole pre-story about how I got to Cusco and from Cusco to Agua Caliente, but I won't get into that bit. Essentially, I was in Agua Caliente, which is just this small sort of city, like at the base of the mountain where Machu Picchu is, and yeah, I was with this sort of group. I had booked sort of a tour, I suppose, just because it was cheaper. It included like the bus and the accommodation and whatever, some transport things and yeah, so my guide was just like, yeah, I think everyone's taking this bus up the hill. It's like an extra $50 US. It's not included in the tour price. So that's what everyone's going to be doing. You have to get there early because there's a big lineup, and you usually have to wait for like an hour to get on the bus. And then anyways, it sounded like this whole sort of unnecessary thing because I was like, well, I'm super budget, and $50 seems like a lot of money, and pretty sure it only takes like an hour and a half to walk up. And he's like, no, you can't take the trail. That's insane. Like, what do you? No. Nobody does that. I'm pretty sure people do it. I'm pretty sure there's a fully sort of maintained trail that goes up to the top. I was like, yeah, I mean, there is, but like, it's gonna take you forever, and it's just, no, it's not worth it. I was like, okay. So, sort of classic Elise moment, I decided, yeah, I'm just gonna take the trail anyways. So, I asked sort of the other local people, where's the trail? Oh, it starts here. So the day before, when everyone was going, I figured out where the trailhead is, and they all kind of said, oh yeah, it takes about an hour and a half or so, yeah, maybe 2 hours depending. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Another funny side story is I realized that people in South America really like fizzy water. And I got this 2 liter of water that I thought was regular, and it was like con gas, and I missed that because they look exactly the same except for with this little tiny writing that says con gas. So that's where my my love of fizzy water started, because I just had 2 liters of it, and going up this big trail, that's all I had to drink. So I at first was drinking it like, oh, this is gross, but then I kind of like, it grows on you. So I'm going up this trail by myself, hiking up. I left really early in the morning, and I saw the guide and a few of the other people on the tour heading towards the bus. And they were just like, where are you going? The bus is this way. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going on the trail. Like, don't worry, it'll be fine. They're like, no, you can't do that. What? And I'm like, well, yeah, anyways, I don't have time to argue about this. I'll see you at the top. Like, oh, okay, yeah, it's gonna take you ages. We'll probably be done the whole tour by the time you get there. I'm like, oh, cool, okay. Um, so I start going up this trail, and it's this switchback trail with just steps and steps and steps, and it kind of like goes all the way over here, and then all the way back, and then you know how switchbacks zigzag so that it's not just like a straight vertical incline. Yeah, so I was doing that for a little bit, and I was just kind of like, this is such a waste of time. Like, why do I keep going back and forth when I could just go straight up? Because there was like a water pipe that was right next to the trail, and it was like, well, I can just follow this pipe, and it's a more direct route, and then it's right next to the trail, so it probably leads to the same place. So I'm following this pipe on the side of the path instead of staying on the path, because that was just going to take ages. I'm climbing, and probably like, 40 minutes went by. I'm going on, and then at some point I realized, oh man, I can't see the trail anymore, and it's getting really, really steep here. That's interesting. I'm just by myself with this bottle of water and maybe like a granola bar or something. I'm just like, oh, well, probably probably should know where the trail is. Anyways, I just kind of looked around. Thank God it was a clear day. I just kind of looked around and I could see the other mountains that are around. And judging from sort of like the distance of how high up I was next to them, I was kind of like, well, I must be near the top because I can see like sort of the top of the neighboring mountains, and I think they're around the same height. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay, that's a rough navigation. Just keep following this pipe thing, and it's going upwards, so it'll eventually lead to something near the top, right? That's logic. And it was like so steep at this point that if I tried to turn around, I probably would have just like slid down and done like this whole sort of, what do you call that, mudslide thing. So I just kept climbing up this super vertical, and it just kept getting more and more and more steep. The super vertical sort of like not on the trail at all sort of thing. I'm going, and I'm like, oh man, it's getting a little sketchy. Oh man. But you just keep going because, I must be close. I'm just 10 more meters, five more minutes. I'm sure. So I'm going. And then I get this like glorious moment where I see, I think it was like a can of Coca-Cola or something, and then like a piece of garbage next to it. I'm like, oh, garbage. That means people are nearby, so I must be close. So I was never so excited to see garbage in my life. I was like, okay, I must be close to something because garbage just doesn't appear in the middle of the forest. So I was like, okay, this is sweet. So follow the garbage. And then I'm like, oh, I'm at the corner of some sort of a building. Okay, cool. So I don't know what this is, but I guess I'll just sort of go around this building, figure out where I am. I'm sure there's a road near it, right? And it's a building. But it turns out, in fact, the corner of that building was the corner of the whole site. It was actually one of the sort of buildings on the Machu Picchu site. So I just like pop up. I'm literally just in the middle of the site. And because I had gone so early and there was no one else there was like this one farmer with his llamas and me. And I was like at the bottom of the site, because when you enter, you're sort of like entering from one of the higher points. So I'm just like climbing up from the bottom, just like, oh, because you don't think about it, but there's no fences around because it's not like a sheer cliff on most of the sides. So they think most humans are not gonna go up this cliff because that's insane. So I just like climb up and I'm like, I'm here. I'm here now. It was just like a super hilarious moment. I'm like looking at, like, what time is it? Oh, so it took me like an hour to get here. Cool. And it was just super hilarious because I had literally the whole place to myself with this one other farmer. There was not another soul. Super cool because it was super early in the morning. So like the mist was just rising. These llamas are going around, and I have a complete reign of the place. There's no one else. And so I was just like kind of like walking around enjoying it. At that time I didn't have any, digital camera, smartphone or anything. So literally just taking it all in. And it was just super funny because I was like walking around, and I was kind of like somewhere in the middle or something. And then I see from the distance some of the people from the tour with the guide coming in from the top. So they've just now arrived sort of 20 minutes after I did. And just, oh my God, the look on the guide's face was just like so priceless. He's like, how you're here now. But you walked and you beat us here by what looks like a lot. What? Just like, I sure did. I don't know, I just thought it was really funny. Yeah. Maybe it was one of those you had to be there moments, but hopefully I conveyed that in my amazing storytelling skills. So it was super funny. The whole rest of the group was also baffled. They were just like, wait, didn't you walk up? and we took the bus. And how did you get in? We didn't see you at the entrance. Do you still have your ticket? Oh yeah, I have my ticket. Didn't have to tear it off because I came in from that corner. What do you mean that corner? It's a sheer cliff. Yeah, yeah, it sure is. That's where I climbed up from. It's like pretty sure the trail is near the entrance. It ends there. So how did that happen? Just don't even worry about it. It's all good, guys. Ah, good times though. So that's pretty much my story about climbing Machu Picchu. It was pretty epic, and yeah, good times for sure. Peace.